If you're planning to study in the US this year, these are some visa restrictions you must know as an international student so you don't end up being asked to leave the country. So first, congratulations on your admission to study in the US. I am really excited for you, and I'm pretty sure that you are either in the process of applying for a US student visa, or you already got that visa and now you're just preparing, depending on when you're watching this video. But in all, congratulations on your admission. So today I do want to share with you some of the restrictions on your US student visa, that F1 visa, which is the popular student visa that most international students use to study in the US. So there are some restrictions on your visa that you should know, that should always be somewhere on your mind. So I want to share some of those with you today. Please do not forget them. Save this video. I don't even know how to save a YouTube video, but download this video, save it somewhere, like this video so you know how to get back to this video when you need this information. But this is super important. Do not forget these restrictions as an international student in the United States. So all of that good stuff said, let us jump into number one restriction that you should always remember. Number one, make sure you don't enter the US more than 30 days before your program starts. So if your program starts August 1st, make sure you do not come into the US or try to come into the US before July 1st. Give 30 days, don't come 45 days before your program starts. And how do you know when your program starts? They use the date on your the date on your I-20, I mean. So whatever that start date is that is written on your I-20, that is the start date that the visa officer would assume your school is starting. So try to calculate 30 days before that date and you can get into the US, but please do not come 45 days before that date. So that is the first restriction. It is that you should not attempt to come to the US more than 30 days before your program starts. So the second restriction that you must know, or you must make sure you make happen, is once you enter the US, once you get to the United States, once you get to wherever you're staying or the school, make sure you contact your international office, or what they have on your I-20 as the designated school official. So it's usually someone in the international office. Whoever that person is that is written on your I-20, make sure you email them or you call them, or whatever it is. Usually they will also reach out to you, but don't wait. You need to reach out to them and let them know you are now in the US and you're in this specific state, or you're already around the school. They must know that you have entered the US, and the date that you call them should be before the start date written on your I-20. So if your program is starting August 1st, you should at least be in the US before August 1st. Maybe that's July 29th, whatever that is. You need to make sure you contact that DSO or your international office. You need to make sure you contact them before the start date written on your I-20. So another restriction that you must know is that while you, and this is not a restriction, this is more like a requirement. Yeah, so this is a requirement you must remember, and it is that while you're in school, while you are enrolled, you must be in good academic standing. And I think this would vary by school, however way they define good academic standing, but basically don't fail, okay? You don't have that luxury of failing as an international student studying in the US. So please, in all that you do, do not fail. Of course, you don't have to be a top student in your class, but please don't fail, okay? Yeah, so you need to be in good academic standing while you're in school, and that is a requirement. If you keep failing, you may be asked to leave the United States. I believe the international office is required to inform USCIS, and they could ask you to leave the US and all of that. So that hasn't happened to me. That didn't happen to me. So, but this is a requirement that you don't even forget this one. And if you determine as part of your whole schooling and studying, you determine that you need more time to complete your program, you need to inform that DSO immediately. You need to inform your designated What is that DSO again? I don't remember, but basically you need to inform your international student office immediately. So an example here is, and this is very common for like PhD students in the US, a lot of PhD students, when they're starting out and when they're trying to get their student visa, they think their program is going to last, they're going to be enrolled in their program for 3 years. They believe they will complete the PhD within 3 years. But the reality is it takes many students at least 5 years to complete their PhD programs. So if you determine as part of like the course of your program here, you determine that, oh, I can complete my PhD. It doesn't look like I'll complete this PhD within the next 3 years or within the next 1 year. If you're already in your second year, then you should contact your international office immediately. So be in good academic standing and contact the international office if you think that you may need more time for your program, or you need whatever, you need an exception or something like that. You just need to contact them. So another restriction is that you can only work on campus for a maximum of 20 hours as an international student while school is in session. So I know a lot of people know the 20-hour thing, but many times even I get confused, like, can you work outside campus and all of that? But usually you are not allowed to work more than 20 hours. And if the school is in session, like the school is on and classes are going on at that time, you can only work on campus. I do know that during holidays you can work outside of campus, but many times while school is in session, you have to work on campus. Now, who is checking? I don't know, but I know that it is much better to just like stick to the rules and obey the rules, just so you have a good experience here, because you never know. I've read before on, is it Reddit or Quora, and someone was basically reporting their neighbor because that person was working more than 20 hours. So that's what it is. Like, I have never seen a USCIS person roaming around the streets. If they are, I don't notice them, I don't know them, but people around you could easily report you, and if you're not following the rules, you're just going to be in a lot of trouble. And really, it is not worth it, because as an international student, you already have a lot to deal with in the US. Like, you already have so much going on. So please try to stick to the rules. That extra 5 hours, I know it's tempting because you need the cash. It's not worth it. Stick to the 20 hours, stick to on-campus jobs while school is in session. So that is one other restriction on your visa that you need to know. Before we go to the next restriction, I just wanted to ask you a quick question. Why have you not joined my email gang? I'm always sharing tips like this, like these ones I'm sharing in today's video. I'm always sharing first with my email community. So if you want to get all the tips about studying abroad, thriving abroad, living your best life abroad, make sure you join that email list, my email gang. So the link is always in the description. Join. I will not, spam you with a lot of messages. I send messages once in a while, once in a week, once in 2 weeks, once in 3 weeks. Sometimes you won't hear from me at all, and you'll be like, Doyin, are you okay? Yes, that happens. So please join if you want to get all the tips about experiences abroad in the US and Canada, in the UK and Australia. I'm always sharing tips, and other people also share with me that I share with my email gang, okay? And it doesn't leave the email gang. So please join. The link is in the description. All right, let's jump back to the video. All right, another thing you should know, I wouldn't call this a restriction, or it's kind of like a restriction, and it's related to the last one that I shared. If you want to work during holidays, you need permission from your school. Basically, that permission is what we call the CPT. So while school is in session, you can only work on campus. You don't need anything for that one, provided you're not working more than 20 hours. I already shared that. Now, if you want to work during the holidays, you can work off campus, you can work anywhere, you can do an internship, but for that one, your school needs to issue you an approval, and that approval is usually the CPT. And I've talked about it in another video, a recent video I did about CPT. I'll link that video somewhere in the description. Please watch that video. It is so important that you understand CPT, OPT, and all of these things. So I'll put that video in the description. Please click and watch that one. But the main point is, make sure you ask your school for a CPT approval before you go start a job outside school when school is on holiday. So that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, if it was useful, if it was informative, please give it a thumbs up. Give this video a thumbs up. That's really the least you can do. So I'll wait for you right now. Go give the video a thumbs up. All right. Okay. Please subscribe and I will see you in my next video.